Hey, dude. So wasn't sure if I was going to get to see you this weekend, and I keep meaning to email you about this stuff, but it's actually probably easy to show in a video, and I don't know, just too lazy to type. I type enough for school. So anyway, all the other thing too is I keep forgetting to bring this. So this book is called Teaching Rhythm. I've told you about it before, but so like using your timekeeping exercises from your book, where you lock onto that big beat, that double whole note or the whole note as your metronome setting. So what I've been doing is that, but instead of the rhythmic displacement exercise with that, which is a little abstract for me, I've been using this book. And what's cool about it is instead of having to remember like, oh man, what rhythmic displacement did I do yesterday, or what should I do today? It progressively goes through different rhythmic combinations of various complexities. So it starts out with just quarter note patterns with rests interspersed, and then it'll add quarter notes and eighths, and then eventually just eighths. I've been working for about 2 months now in the section on sixteenths, and part of the reason it's taken a while is because I don't necessarily do this every day, but also I just spend a lot of time. If it's a little rough, I spend a lot of time on it. Like I spent maybe a month or so on this pattern down at the bottom, which is rest on the downbeat and then 3/16. So tut 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 tut, and of course I just rushed it there. But yeah. So what I try to do is I try to sight read through everything with just the double whole note. So I'll put my metronome at 15 if I want to be at 120 beats, or maybe 12.5. And I use the web metronome that you told me about. And I'll use my brushes. If I'm at home, I'll sit on my cajon and do the beats, but otherwise I just take these with me in my guitar case. And if I'm at like the other day I was at the train station just doing beats with my metronome. And if I can't sight read it, then I'll work on it with the quarter note. So I'll set it to 120, or maybe I'll slow it down a bit to 100, and I'll just do the patterns for a couple days at 100, and then I'll try to do it with the double whole note. And if I can lock it in with the double whole note, I'll move on. And like I said, I've been in the 16th notes for a long time. But I figure if I'm just focusing on rhythm, I should get it right. So I don't mind spending the time on it. Plus, it's kind of zen. Now, it's really helpful because there's a really great book I have that teaches you how to sight read in position. And so then, like, you'll sight read with just your pointer finger in the 3rd fret, and then just the 4th, 5th, and so on. So you have like everything in it give you sight reading exercises with your finger always on the 5th fret, and then always on the 4th, and then always on the 3rd. And so you have all this different stuff to sight read in each one of these positions. But it's all 8th note runs, so you don't get any rhythmic variation. And guitar is kind of tricky because you have to figure out. Every time you work on a new piece, it's almost like you have like a brand new fingering you've never seen before. It's not like saxophone where there's some alternate fingerings, but most of it's pretty consistent. So this book helps me just isolate rhythm, and now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm sight reading classical pieces, because at the ISU library they have all sorts of like Sohr and all these different old 19th century guys, a bunch of assorted pieces by them. So I just go through and sight read that. But primarily I focus on teaching rhythm because it gives me that chance to work on keeping time and rhythm. I've also found that the sight reading, or that the exercise of just making my students in class just do quarter notes, 8th notes, and 16th notes while giving them a whole note click, so like 120, I put the metronome at 30, has been really helpful in improving their timekeeping and their ability to improvise. So yeah, a lot of that stuff's really helping. The last thing I want to tell you about is I've been working on improvising in classical style, and there's a lot of things that I've accomplished with that. And again, this is easier to describe, I guess, in a video than in writing. So I'm going to play this piece I've been working on my Bach, and then I'm going to improvise over it the second time around. So now here's an improvisation over the same chord changes. See, I lost it a little bit at the end there. It's still kind of hard to do, but yeah, I'm starting to get it done. And I can also do like, so if I'm doing like Autumn Leaves, I can also do 2-voice counterpoint improvisation over that. So. So yeah, I think I'm going to skip something in the B section, but I think you get the gist of it. Like, yeah, I can even do it for like Georgia on My Mind. So like, that'd be. Georgia, Georgia. So yeah, slowly but surely, this whole idea of improvising in classical style is coming together. I can also like, it depends on the genre. Essentially, the secret is that it's 1-4-5 instead of 2-5-1. So if you're doing A minor, you're gonna do C, so A minor over C, and then 5. So if you want to do classical, you just got to change the rhythm a little bit. So if I'm in the key of C. One, one, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 4. Also, it's cool too if he's doing if Bach's doing a 4 chord, he might do a 4 in the bass, so 4, 5, 1, but he'll do an inversion of a 2 chord. So in the key of C, this is D minor over F, and then G to 5, and then back to C. Alright, I don't want want to make this too long. So hope you're doing well. Maybe we can hang out sometime.